Peace, cosmic kinfolk, or should I just say my cosmic family? You know the vibes. What's popping? It's Dab with some more dabtastic energy to drop for you. Now, as I get my Mac squared away, right? Some of you might not know my history, but I had a nice, studio, home studio, with a nice setup. And we'll call it, my carrot case speakers, my Ableton Push. I had a Rode microphone. I had a nice professional iMac. It was all stolen from me last July. Sorry for the camera jiggle there. And I've been rebuilding ever since. Just taking my time, using mental sciences to keep myself in place of what I call aspirations, okay? Because we all have aspirations. It's like maybe an aspiration almost supplements as your purpose. My aspirations are just to crack more code. So I'm a perpetual hacker, which means I have no real job, but my real job is to enjoy the life of decoding and hacking and seeing through the fabric of alternate vision. So I'm saying all that to say, welcome to this little smack dab session. And as promised, as soon as I get my Mac back, I'm going to go into full production of amazing content that you're going to find awe-inspiring, unique, different from spiritualists, and more on in tune with what shaman know. And what shaman know is not always talked about because you have guru, you know what I mean? You have sages, but what is the trueness of a natural shaman? And I just thank the universe and the ancestor that lives through me for gifting me with a natural shamanistic ability from birth. This is not something that I practiced at any one point in my life until I was really aware of what was going on. So nice long intro. I'm gonna start to slur my words. Should we take some libations? I mean, if you want, we're drinking some red wine tonight from the mason jar. That way, the balance of this talk is less fervent and more subdued. I love how wine is a subduing spirit. The grapes, the kind of process a grape has to go through to grow on a vine means it's cultivating in a community. And in its community, those trees and those plants share pheromones and hormones together. And that is what, their spiritual being deals with. When we ferment them and drink their blood, we absorb whatever pheromones and joy they enjoyed. Now, there's some things about wine that I won't even get into, but that's for another topic. Let's kind of dive into what this smack dab session is, and I'm glad I took the time to just ramble before I even went into anything too specific. Because for a lot of people out there, as I'm starting to notice, I'm giving you surface tension information. Surface tension means like water, when you place like a drop of water from an eye droplet on a surface of water, that one little droplet of water has the chance of just forming a bead of water on top of the surface of water because of the tension water has between its molecules. So hydrogen bonds, right, tend to want to keep a form, okay? And if you drop a little drop of water on top of, let's just even say like you you take a penny and you start to take little drops of water and just dab little drops of water on top of the penny until there's a mountain of water there, right? What is that water doing? It's holding itself together through a covalent bond, okay, that is so etherically charged, that it wants nothing to do but keep its form until gravity or another force breaks it. So water is very dabbable, and I love dab science. I mean, I kind of created dab science, and you're hearing me ramble some more before I really get into more shamanistic things, because I've realized, like, I'm not gonna give everybody the full below the surface stuff talking here on um, the digital world. The digital world is false, you guys. But it's fun because it's manipulatable. You can manipulate it. You can also get manipulation from spiritual forces, which I've witnessed personally. So, what I will tell you right now is a lot of people are concerned with time and timing. A lot of people believe that time and timing is the reason for every season. Now, that's a logical conclusion to come to when you look at how the Earth rotates on its 23-degree axis tilt, and we have our journey around the sun creating seasons. What are seasons? Okay. Well, they're manifestations of different climate on the planet based on the time that the planet has moved into, right? On its orbit around the Earth according to its tilt. That's how we calculate a season. We know they're coming, they're scheduled, they come orderly and in fashion. And the Earth, being, the beautiful spiritual being it is, has this Gaia principle that it knows time on another scale beyond just its surface here, okay? It knows a time that is what I would call mutable time. The reason why the earth knows mutable time is because it's bigger than us. Its consciousness is from a qualia. Qualia is a definition of something that you can quantitate, okay? That you can put into measure. So its qualia of knowing time only is subject to the principles of sun cycles. The earth knows more about the time that we're living in at a greater dimension because it is in vibratorial harmony with the sun. Down here on the earth, there are micro weather patterns that are created, but up there, there's macro weather patterns that are created. So the earth's weather is different from our weather because the earth translates the sun's weather to us. We don't get the true sun weather. Now, right now we're in a solar minimum rising. That's what we should call it. You know what I mean? The we're going back into a solar maximum soon. And in that time frame, there's going to be a lot of pinpointed moments, okay? I don't want to say in time, but moments where shifting yourself, if you've learned the science of thinking ahead, but shifting yourself into the moment that you're thinking ahead to will be very productive because a lot of you who've taken on this positive vibration, wanting to grow in your alienism, in your powerful third eye, in your sixth chakra, where we hack matrices to see a myriad of objects and use DAB, which is, aggregated living, basically. I can't even remember my own acronym I created for that. Diversified aggregated living or being, DAB. You want to take that to another level. And it means separating yourself from time and coming into a cipher of a new time. Now, the cipher of a new time I want you to try is or not even try, because that is a programming word. We try a a algorithm and then we catch the error of that algorithm. So we're going to try an algorithm mentally together where we're going to be ahead by a day. Now, I used to put this into a slower pot to cook in, okay? In fact, you can as well put this in a slower pot to cook in. If you're not willing to like just jump a whole day ahead, because time is a fabric that can be brought to you or stretched out further away. What I'm really getting at with my little shamanistic dump here is you can go 6 seconds ahead. You can go 10 seconds ahead. I've taught this lesson actually to many people, a lot of times just in, Discord groups or, people that I'd run into randomly who were getting high and tripping on psychedelics. I'd have these talks with them because their mind was available for the grasping in the imagination, where a lot of people are so subdued in this culture that they don't have great imaginations. They let the Disney guys dream up for them. Their imagineering level is at 0 while everybody else is at like level 1 or 2. And then you might have a couple in there who are fives, and those fives know that they're fives, but are like me. You're weary from being over tapped. You know what I mean? And then there's also nines and tens. And the nines and tens, those of us who've been there, that that's really just another altered place to be. It's very enjoyable. There is no want at 9 and 10 of creativity. I mean, the only want that's created right now is the illusion that the current paradigm of the world has. You know, you have to want money to be able to allow yourself to keep continually building and prospering. But that's still an illusionary state of being. It's fun to have to fight that battle. And then it's also not fun to have to fight that battle. It is a double edged sword to take on the responsibilities of living in this current paradigm and say to yourself, look, if you are a 9, and I'm just harkening back to what I just talked about, you got to understand, my guys, you got to understand, my girls, you got to understand, my freaks and my geeks. Like, spirituality at a 9 always leads to a separate ego, a spiritual ego. Okay, you can have a physical ego, and you have a spiritual ego. Don't let that spiritual ego be the reason that we ignore our core principle. And I think the core principle is, again, do no harm as you move. With an ego, you can sometimes do harm because you have to step on someone's head to have an ego. You must tout yourself as the best to have an ego, even if you are the best and you've got all the gold medals to prove it and no one can shoot you down. That's great. Again, if everything is on an equal level in the spiritual plane, which can be questioned, and I can divulge more information about vibratory levels on the spiritual plane. It's not really about greater or lower, but it's about vibratory levels. And even a 0 level is special. But that's something for you to contemplate as you learn more about these brain dumps I'll be giving you, because you could follow me all the way back till the first lessons where I started Every Planet Wears a Crown. And I'm building upon every single word that has been spoken thus far, because I mean what I say and I say what I mean to a very powerful degree that I know is above what other people understand. And I'm willing to just live in that world and catch people up to its science via, observation. Because that's the best thing a teacher can do, is observe student, watch student, tell student one thing simply that they can understand to be better. So we're going to go 6 seconds ahead to a day ahead. You can choose any time increment you want, but we're time jumping this week, and I'm going to show you some more manifestations by the end of the week, as I normally do, because it's pretty much an exact science. Don't forget to dab on them and hit my subscribe button.